All right, how about this first story? It's probably why a lot of you are tuning in. So we've talked about LuLaRoe a handful of times on Extra Shot ever since we launched the show over a year ago. Well, the latest with LuLaRoe, and you explain what LuLaRoe is because your wife, is she one of the retailers or knows people?
Yeah, there's a lot of her friends are the sellers, basically. Basically, you sign up and you order a bunch of merchandise up front, and then you sell it to your friends and family, and then maybe other people. So
leggings are a huge LuLaRoe.
It's multi-level marketing is what it is. Okay. And then if you're in charge of an area, and you recruit more people, then you get a cut. So as long as everyone's growing and selling their product, then everyone's happy. And my wife does like the products. I like some of the things. What she wore. My favorite pair of leggings I've ever seen is a LuLaRoe thing. It's like these little foxes, and they look good.
They have cool designs.
Yeah, it's
cool. That's your thing.
It's cool.
It's quirky. I like it.
But usually, when you hear about it, then you hear, the other side of it, which is, like people bought way too much product up front. They can't sell it. They're underwater by thousands of dollars. They didn't think it would be like this. So you hear that part of it too. So they're in the news a lot lately, and I think within the last year they grew to be $1 billion company. Wow. So they're a big deal.
That's incredible.
Well,
and private still.
And private still, you're right. And the co-founders, Mark and Deanne Stidham, well, they're in the news. At least the latest news I saw just a moment ago. A new article came out with an update. So basically, the co-founders are in a bit of hot water this morning, and it's just a little bit, and people have something to say, and it all goes back to this gentleman, this man, who was one of the sellers of LuLaRoe, okay? So he goes on, he has a live video, because that is how these sellers sell their products. Hey, do you guys like this shirt? Do you like, kind of,
they stream like us.
Yeah, and they stream like, they have a little store, some people are coming out live from their closet, live from their living room, and it's like a little boutique. So this gentleman right here, see, I don't know where he's at behind him, but it's
looks
some
like
space.
closet-y.
It looks closet-y.
That looks like me trying to work this computer.
Well, he starts mimicking and mocking those with disabilities, specifically Down syndrome.
Right.
So National Down Syndrome Association comes forward and says, excuse me, what's going on? He, right away, after he does this and gets all kinds of backlash, apologizes.
As he should.
I'm sorry. Well, the NDSS says, we do not accept your apology. So now LuLaRoe initially came out and said that this is unacceptable and insensitive, does not reflect the beliefs of LuLaRoe or their independent fashion retailers. So they came out and said, we're sorry along with him. It does not reflect it. Well, once NDSS says we don't accept his apology, we actually want his contract to be terminated, LuLaRoe came back and said, sorry, we're not going to do that. They said, we do not believe the most productive response to his actions, which he has fully apologized for, is to close his business and threaten his ability to provide for his family. So NDSS says, okay, well then let's sever ties. LuLaRoe severs ties. So they're no longer working together. The interesting part here is that LuLaRoe and the National Down Syndrome Association, they had been working together. So the fact that someone came out and mocked someone of that association seemed inappropriate. You would think LuLaRoe right away would say, no, we're going to sever ties. Whatever you want, NDSS.
That's what I would
to make it cool. No, they're standing behind the person. So this is a case of both, whether an association and a company standing by their people. So they no longer work together, but LuLaRoe says we're still going to donate. We're still going to highlight the lives and the lifestyle of those with Down syndrome, and we appreciate everything that the association's doing. So do you think that this guy should have been terminated? Do you think LuLaRoe should have been on the side of NDSS? Let us know what you think.
Okay, so we're going to get to the comments, but one thing that is even crazier about this story is that the man that you just saw on screen who put up that video, his wife has a sibling who has Down syndrome.
So even more related.
Exactly. If anyone shouldn't be speaking negatively about somebody with a disability, not that anyone should, it shouldn't be this guy.
No.
He should have the respect for people with Down syndrome. And one of our commenters spoke to the same thing. He said, this is Matt Gray. He's disappointed in LuLaRoe. People with Down syndrome deserve our respect. There is an El Palmar Mexican resident in Sacramento who has an employee with Down syndrome. He is kind, sweet, very hardworking, and does a great job. Of course he does. But what he's saying here is that there are people with this syndrome in our communities, and you have to learn about who they are as a person, not listen to these comments about generalizing over a type of people.
The fact that there's somebody with Down syndrome in his family, I mean...
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
This seems like an easy call for LuLaRoe. I mean, because it sounds a little legalese. Like we don't want to go with we don't want to block the ability for to provide whatever. That sounds like sort of like perhaps in the contract that they signed with LuLaRoe that there basically is no way that they could end the contract with that person regardless, or there is no like morality clause or something like that. Like say we would have in our TV contracts. So it sounds legalese to me. But here's the thing. And remember, I'm a weather guy, so that's just my gut, okay? So don't hold me on that.
He sells a lot of merchandise for them, and I think that's what it is at the end of the day.
They see dollar signs.
He is one of their big sellers. And so why do we want to cut ties with revenue?
They should aspire, especially because they're in the news so much for reasons that they don't want to be in the news for. And we're getting comments here about a lot of people sounding off. You say LuLaRoe, people are going to have stories. I love them. I have 70 leggings.
70
Other people
leggings.
like the worst mistake I ever made. So, you know, it kind of depends on where you come from that. But, you know, if you are a company and something like that, you know, you have this billion-dollar company, something like this pops up in your news feed. They have to have email alerts. They have to have somebody bring this to their attention.
Matt Gray, I want to bring in what you had to say here. He said he's disappointed in LuLaRoe. People with Down syndrome deserve our respect. El Palmar, Mexican restaurant in Sacramento, has an employee with Down syndrome. He is kind, he's sweet, very hard worker who does a great job. Other businesses, too, are hiring workers with Down syndrome for their good work ethic, and they do not steal all uppercase from the business. Of course, I mean, I think none of us are in disagreement when it comes to the fact that, I mean, I think we all have interacted or maybe have someone in our family or in our group of people that we know who has Down syndrome, and beautiful group of people, if not the best people on this planet. So the fact that, of course, this is just bullying. This is cyberbullying, a case of it, and I hate it. I hate cyberbullying. So the fact when I see this, I'm like, no, LuLaRoe, you have so many other employees or retailers. Why do you have to put your reputation on the line for the sake of this man's well-being and his family's well-being?
So I just went to Twitter to see what people are talking about. First of all, it's one of the trending topics. Easy to search if you wanted to do it. Number one comment, boycott LuLaRoe. Please retweet. They support consultants who mock people with Down syndrome. This is so disgusting. This right here is worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to them. Negative publicity.
Haley
So
Burris.
you cut ties with one man who might bring you in a couple $1,000s to make sure that you don't lose millions of dollars off your bottom line. Like
Haley Burris says, I'm so glad I ended my contract as a retailer with them, the biggest mistake and the worst company I've been with. Will you talk to us a little bit more, Haley, what your experience was? Was it a morale issue? Was it a disrespect issue? Was it a straight-up inventory issue? Because we
remember, yes.
Remember?
So the first story that I ever did with you guys on Extra Shot was about LuLaRoe and how they had this noir collection. All black, tops and bottoms. And consultants were saying they either couldn't get any pieces.
They paid for them up front, didn't they? And they didn't. They weren't delivered to that. It was something like they
didn't get their hands on this stock. It was a limited collection. I remember that. And some of the top tier sellers weren't even getting access. So they were wondering, what was LuLaRoe doing with this inventory? Where was it going? So is she upset because it was a mismanagement of allocation?
Haley Burris, let us know.
I want to know.
Here's the other side of it, to play devil's advocate here, right?
Okay. Good luck on this one.
I know, but I'm just trying to see it from, if you were in this man's shoes and made a mistake, let's not even say as bad as this. I think this is the lowest you can go to mock another human being, especially with disabilities. But you made a mistake. And you came out and apologized right away and was like, oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't realize the reach. He's not young, not too young. Maybe I'm just, and devil's advocate, giving him the benefit of the doubt. So he doesn't really understand the reach that he has outside of this clothing. He thinks he's being funny. We don't know the context of this conversation, not that it's ever okay to mock someone with disabilities. But say all of this is true. Would you want your company, who you work tirelessly for, would you want your company to stand by you and say, okay, I apologize, please give me a second chance?
Right.
So what I'm seeing coming through in our comments is that he is not the one that has the contract with LuLaRoe. We'll double check to make sure this is correct, but that his mother is the one with the contract.
So he stepped in front of her camera and her broadcast and thought it was
apparently,
funny?
I'm literally going to Google this right now to find out if it's true.
If that's true, that's an important distinction. However, his face, their product. His face, their product. You know, maybe it's not a direct connection, but I mean, they could still make the call. I mean, honestly.
I get that, but if this was mom's and she didn't know that son,
Right.
who seems to be a little crazy
Right.
and
Yep.
disrespectful, came in front of her camera and her broadcast decided
Right.
to go live,
Right.
should mom be held accountable?
Right. That's honestly the way that was their response
This-
sounds
what I-
very like it's been through the legal washing machine.
Yeah.
So let me
We'll have our digital team look this up. To
Yes.
be sure.
Yeah.
Was this the son of a retailer or was this the
Right.
actual retailer?
Yeah.
Because the articles that I'm reading are saying his company,
Right.
him being the retailer.
The partnership began with LLR's LuLaRoe's founder, Statham. I'm still going to look through. I'm going to find this out.
While you guys
Go
are
ahead.
looking at that, because that's important, I want to tell you guys about what you're saying for devil's advocate. If you make a mistake and you apologize sincerely,
given a second
then what
chance?
happens next? Let's go back to a different story. Do you guys
Okay.
remember the whole thing with Logan Paul, one of the biggest
Yes.
stars on
Oh,
YouTube, and he went to
yes.
Japan in the suicide forest and
Yes.
discovered what they were looking for, the chance they did see a deceased person there. And then there's other videos that he was making while in Japan, very disrespectful of the culture. Anyway, he made a new video. I don't know if you guys knew this.
I didn't.
He made a new video.
Apologizing.
Yeah,
Like-
apologizing. And let me tell you something. Saw the first video, and internally I said, I'm done. I don't even know who this guy is, but I'm already done with this guy because you can't ever walk back from something like that.
No.
It's so far over the line. I just can't ever really give you time or attention again. I've moved on.
That makes sense.
However, his video did flip his intentions, and he did a whole video, a long video
Okay.
that was well shot and edited, talking about suicide prevention. He spoke to a man that speaks a lot about suicide because he jumped off the, yes, thank you so much, Be Here Tomorrow, Suicide Be Here Tomorrow. So this is the gentleman he talked to who actually jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge
Wow.
and survived. And there's a couple of these people, and they're on speaking circuits, and they always say, I knew I made a mistake the second I let go of the bridge. So he, in this video, is putting his, he is talented, and his followers are now going to watch this video to see how he's going to change the conversation. And I do believe with this one, whatever the motivation was, if he thought he was going to lose his career or his YouTube
Right.
channel, you can see it in the conversation affecting him, and he realizes more and more during the course of the video that not only did he make a huge mistake, but now he has a lot of eyeballs that he can direct attention
course.
to this very serious subject that affects not only the individuals that die from suicide, but
Right.
their families.
So I just want to clarify, it was definitely he and his wife who have this LuLaRoe
So nothing to do with this mom.
channel
Okay.
or station or however
Right.
they sell their product. But they also put up a Facebook post
Are you seeing
explaining
that? Okay.
that they're going to use their VIP page for the next week until things calm down a bit. So I think that they're not going to be on their regular page,
Okay.
only using their VIP page. And do you think that this is because they're trying to avoid the negative comments?
Or
Well, yeah, of
newcomers
course.
that see
Sidestep?
this.
Right. They're waiting for it to blow over. But here's the thing. Logan Paul had a moment. And he decided, you know what? I made a mistake, and my energy and effort is going toward this, to fixing it and making something better than it was before. Maybe they could do something like that,
They
and
used
that
the
would
wrong
change.
picture. Can they put a hater's gonna hate?
Are you sure this is the right?
Yeah, you got to
The
be
one?
careful.
Yeah, with the
there's
verified
mock
account.
accounts. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's make sure.
But I see one retailer here who on Twitter says, and she's unrelated to the to this man or to this
it is.
event, but she says, it's official. I will not stand behind a company with no moral compass. And she has a picture here, of course, her name and personal information marked off, but
Right.
it's her contract basically terminating herself from LuLaRoe, making a complaint at the bottom saying that I cannot be part of a company that chooses an individual over a foundation that is amazing and does so much for those with Down syndrome. The fact that one top seller is more important than the relationship and the effects his decision, his current retailers is.
There are a lot of
No,
people
it's hard to
commenting
read
on
that.
this one, and they're very small.
Yeah, and everything's very, very small. I'm seeing LuLaRoe here on their Facebook page, the verified account with their statement.
The account that I was looking at is the one where they posted a video with the sister, and that's what I'm looking at now.
Okay.
and they have decided to move their business over to that other page just for the next week.
Who is they again?
The husband and wife who have this LuLaRoe account that posted the original video with the negative comments towards people with Down syndrome. So then they brought into their apology video the sister who has Down syndrome as a way to smooth things over.
And
it's right here.
Yeah, I hate to play that because we don't know what they're saying.
What they're going to say, right?
I'm interested to know, like, so did he think that because he's affiliated with someone with Down syndrome, he
that
then,
it makes it better?
He then can make fun of?
How many times have we heard this before?
Yeah.
I can't be racist because I have blank friends.
Friend who's, I can't be racist against Mexicans. My best friend's Mexicans. Like, no, that does not give you the right.
I couldn't have said anything offensive about people with Down syndrome because I have a family member who has Down syndrome, so everything's cool, right?
Yeah,
no problem here. That, I would say, is not the right approach. That's not an apology.
Correct.
That's more that's a non-apology.
Right.
It's like when when somebody does something to you that's clearly wrong and you ask for an apology and they say, "I'm so sorry you feel that way." That's not an apology.
It's not.
So that's not going to cut it.
That makes me more
angry.
angry.
If you make so much money, why don't you take a chunk of that or all of it for a period of time and donate it to families that have children with Down syndrome? Because here's the thing. These families love their children with Down syndrome. The children themselves, who become adults, by the way, it's not their fault. They were born that way. You need to embrace these people. The one thing, though, is that people with Down syndrome, they do have headwinds against them. They have difficulty finding employment, staying employed, and they have there's a lot of things that pop up that, by no fault of their own, are difficult and expensive because of the world that we live in. So there are organizations out there that you can help out some of these family members. They love their children. They love their children who become adults that may need to stay in the home much longer. And they need support from everybody else. So this is really a moment. This is a horrible thing. Now we have a moment. So what are we going to do about it?
Well,
especially what are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
One of our commenters, Jorlyn, says that she is one of the representatives and sells the product, and that they have a home office update call today, and this is being addressed on that call. So I hope, Jorlyn, keep us posted on what they say in that. Come back, comment here, or message any of us to let us know so we can continue the conversation.
Nora Grosso, it's very offensive, disrespectful. This needs to be addressed ASAP. We cannot tolerate this type of behavior. I buy LuLaRoe, but I'm considering to stop buying it. So that's the risk, I guess, that LuLaRoe is willing to take without severing its ties, or excuse me, in severing its ties and not severing its ties with the man and the wife.
Right.
This is what bothers me with the video, the apology video, and bringing in the family member with Down syndrome. What position are you putting that person with disabilities in to say, who knows if they fully understand what is happening here, if they've fully been explained to what's happening here, yet you're putting them in a position to be an advocate for this man who, how about if they don't feel that way? Are they in a position to go against him? So they're kind of forcing that person to say, hey, it's okay. If you have Down syndrome, he wasn't making fun of you. It's okay. That bothers me.
I have a problem with it. It's like when you see celebrities or politicians and there's been an affair that has been outed and is public knowledge, and then they bring out their spouse to stand next to them and we turn the page and everything's going to be fine. And you just feel, now they're
publicly embarrassed.
I would just, exactly. Going through one of those things privately is enough, and then now they need to, for whatever reason, stand next to them and go through all of that again. It's just humiliating.
It's hard to go against your family, too, if you know that they're good. You believe that they're good people at the end of the day, yet they've made this mistake where they need to be held accountable.
And with that said, marriages go through stuff. Being married is really, really hard, and it's totally possible you go through something, and you work through it, and it gets better and goes on. But you can do that privately, and that's the thing, is that now they've brought this family member who is just quietly going about their life, and now they have to essentially vouch for the decisions of somebody else that clearly they're getting a lot of backlash for. So that's just does not seem appropriate to me. I would not do it, and that if you're trying to get an apology, make this go away, it doesn't make it go away, it makes it worse.
You know what? I think that this is a time when Melania Trump could step in. Because her platform is cyberbullying, and not saying that he went out of his way to cyberbully people with disabilities, but she can use this as a stepping stone to achieve some forward motion in her platform and possibly help this man explain his side of the story, or at least explain to people at large how bullying starts from adults and is taught to younger people.
And by just making little, even if it was as small as like, oh, and like changing the voice to sound like someone who maybe just, like, that is bullying. And some people are.
And that's teaching somebody else.
Yes,
to bully. That needs to be cut out.
You know,
go ahead.
There's moments, I remember being, a teenager, and we used the R word. Do we know what the R word is?
Yes.
Okay, I used it.
It drives me
was what
crazy.
my friends and I used slang for whatever. And then you get older and you realize, whoa, why was I saying that? How many people did I hurt by saying that? How many, maybe it's not them, maybe it's someone in their family.
Yeah.
And so then I realized, and not only that, my cousin Carl has cerebral palsy. So that's even worse.
Right.
So, I mean, we're all
you didn't
human.
think about it.
Exactly. We are capable of doing something outrageously dumb and offensive, all of us.
Without intending to hurt.
Exactly. So.
But who told you that it was wrong?
Yeah,
How'd you
at what
find
point
out?
did you know? Because he's a grown man.
He's
not
very
a
grown.
I don't remember exactly, but it was probably multiple people. I don't use that word. That's not appropriate.
Right.
And so, but what I'm trying to say is that once you know something, okay, if you don't know something or you're not paying attention, you can do things that are offensive.
Right.
But once you know, and then you choose to say, well, it really doesn't matter, or you try and minimize that, that's a whole different thing. And then you really need to be held accountable for that, because that's different. That your eyes are wide open. Now it's been explained to you. Now what are you going to do about it? And then with this video, hey, everything's cool because someone in my family, now you know, but you're still saying everybody else doesn't get it, but we do. And maybe that's fine in that family, but you have to understand there's a lot of people offended, and you have to address
Especially
those people.
With social media, you have this platform where you say one thing or do one thing, and it's spread to the world really
Right.
quickly, not realizing it. But I feel like in 2018, we should know that the things that are said online do spread quickly and are offensive. One thing, and then to your point, using the R word growing up,
Right.
same thing with people I knew in my age group, or maybe it was a cultural thing. It was oh my gosh, that's so gay.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
I remember that.
Like, that is so
My mom
gay.
cut that out of my vocabulary very
So
quickly.
dumb, so whack.
So
That's
quickly.
how gay was perceived.
Right.
And then you get into a place where now, being such a large ally of the LGBTQ community, now I would be so offended if I were heard that. That's so gay. Oh, you mean gay as a negative connotation?
Right.
Because excuse me,
Let's have some words.
Let's have some words, and I will come to their defense. But you're right; those words are used at a young age as you're growing up, because it's twisted. And to this day, I'll put a stop to it immediately.
So quickly.
But it takes that person, it takes those allies, it takes people to say, hey, no, dude, and bop you on the nose real quick.
Right.
Let you know that's
Right.
not okay. So maybe this is his bop on the nose, but you're an adult.
And I think it's important to share these. We've had
been
these
there,
moments.
we've been
So so when you are outraged initially, you
we
have
were
to
young.
just take a second. Yeah, exactly. You have to take a second to try and understand their life experience. This is a brand new thing, because maybe in that household, in that community, this isn't offensive at all. This is funny. But now you're on Facebook, you're exposing it to the world. So how does the world
Exactly.
react to this? So this may be a new moment for this
Family.
man.
That's
exactly.
true.
However, again, then the reaction and the apology just really isn't it. It don't take my opinion for it. If you go online, there's an aggregate sort of opinion that people are still, even after the apology, still kind of upset about this.
Yep.
And also upset about LuLaRoe's initial reaction to this, which was
Nothing.
one of this emojis.
Right. I
Right?
love that.
Which
But
one?
Tara, one of our viewers,
sorry.
Tara, is saying this isn't just hurting LuLaRoe's business as a whole. You have to, again, think about the little business owners. You can consider these people small business owners that are selling these leggings, selling these tops, who are going to be impacted by LuLaRoe as a whole getting negative publicity. And if people, large marketers, start to pull back from their decision to work with LuLaRoe, that affects the bottom line for a lot of small business owners who are just trying to provide for their families. And that is what LuLaRoe is not thinking about. Then you're not thinking about all of the people who are making money for you. You're thinking about one family that's making money for you.
Yeah. Having worked on the retail side of the industry, how does a decision like that come into play? I mean, I'm sure there's a large conversation, or is it just Mark and Deanne Stidham, who are the co-founders of LuLaRoe? In your opinion, having gone through the experience.
I've never been at the managerial level where I would have to make that decision, but watching how, especially in Urban Outfitters, how we would deal with a negative campaign that came out, say we put something bad on a shirt that had a negative connotation and we didn't mean it, you take it down off of the site so quickly, you issue that apology, and you just don't do it again. So my recommendation would have been cut ties publicly with this family who is selling the merchandise and call it a day.
Right.
Then work with the Down Syndrome Foundation to create a positive PR moment so that you are no longer associated with this negative PR moment. That's just me. That is what I would do. The decision to continue working with them with a half apology doesn't bode well.
Right. And if they're on a conference call today, we'll see what happens.
I can't wait to see what happens.
I know.
Yeah, Tonda Bolton.
You should sign up just for the conference
Right?
call.
I just want to be in on that call.
Tonda, thanks for your comments.
T-shirt. I'm just here for the LuLaRoe conference call.
With a cup of tea in the front.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, I want to get to this. Tonda Bolton, his apology was worse than the original offense to me. He paraded his sister-in-law in front of the camera as a token. Did you read that?
No, okay. I'm listening to you and reacting to it.
Reacting to it.
I'm like,
Gayla Stone, they are consultants, not business owners.
But it is their business. Anytime you try to sell a product, you have a business.
You're an entrepreneur?
Well,
you are an entrepreneur.
I would say yes and no. If someone can fire you, you work for somebody else.
Okay.
So if you are the entrepreneur and you're the boss, it's a little different.
See, my dad owns an Allstate insurance business, and he is the owner of that business. He can hire and fire the people that work below him, but if he does something wrong, Allstate could fire him, but he's still a small business owner.
Would it be? Yeah.
So what the point is saying that Gayla, is that LuLaRoe should be held accountable. This isn't a matter with the guy because the guy he's just one part of the larger entity at hand. I'm just kind of confused as to what that means.
Oh my gosh, that was the whole thing.
So many people are commenting.
You want to know entrepreneur? If you're an entrepreneur, do this. Call it LuLaRoe. Same business.
I can't.
Less offensive. You're
Except
gonna make
the
$1 billion.
tags are going to be wrong. Guys,
Very
we
different.
see all of your
Thank
comments
you.
coming in. You're incredible. We love that you joined us today.
All right, everyone. We have other topics to get to. We will get to them tomorrow. I know a lot of you were interested in this, so we stuck with it for the full 30 minutes. We do have a newscast coming up at 9 on TV. Don't forget tonight is President Trump's first State of the Union address. We know a lot of you have opinions about that. We'll go in on that tomorrow.
We'll be here to talk about all of it.
At 6 o'clock tonight, right here on ABC 10. So you guys have a good one, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye.